what would you call the
Master?
master? Yeah, thank you.
Well, now I feel like I just got to help out a Jedi. You guys know him from Saturday Night Live. He was recently in the movie If, and he was one of my favorite parts of the movie Unfrosted when he played Chef Boyardee. He's currently voicing Jedi Bob in LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, currently airing on Disney+. I'd like to welcome Bobby Moynihan to the show, and my first question is, as a LEGO fan and a Star Wars fan, I feel like this was made for me, and I've heard that you also love LEGO and Star Wars, so what was it like to be a part of this project?
As a fan of both Lego and Star Wars, growing up and as a full-blown adult, I love the idea. Like the whole concept of this show is like mix everything up and play with it together. I love that. I've always loved that. I love when like you see. Do you remember when like the Muppets would do Star Wars or like the Muppets
Yep,
did Wizard of
Treasure
Oz?
Island.
Like I love the idea of cross genre um cross genre um IPs kind of getting together and just doing that. And also just it's fun to see all of our favorite Star Wars characters in a brand new way. I would watch an entire series of Jedi Darth Vader. It's the coolest. Like he's the best. He's just misunderstood. Darth. I don't want to be a Darth Vader apologist right now, so I'm going to stop my answer.
Well, what did you know about Jedi Bob and his history in LEGO when you took on the role?
I knew a lot about the history of Jedi Bob and kind of the playset when I before I got the role. I had this because I'm the coolest adult in the world. I had this before you did. I'll tell you that. Um, uh, I knew all about it. I like to collect things, and in the collector world, that was a fun story of just like this thing that they released that was kind of just to release something that the fans turned into now something I'm doing interviews about, and it's pretty cool to see that to fruition from start to be as being a fan of it, and now being able to say like I'm Jedi Bob. I get to be I'm that guy. I'm that guy that was just hanging around, and now he's part of it. It's kind of my whole career.
Well, I guess you can say that. What can you tell us about Jedi Bob's full name and if that's a nod to LEGO?
The origins of Jedi Bob's name. Jedi, his full name, if you were to refer to him as requested, would be Jedi Master Barbarian Afol. Not so hard, but a pretty Star Warsy name, a pretty cool Star Warsy name, Jedi Master Barbarian Afol. Afol, AFOL, standing for adult fan of Legos, which is or adult fan of Lego. Pardon, sweet Jeebus, I almost messed up. There's no S in Lego, none. There never will be.
Well, Jedi Bob is a really popular figure in the LEGO world. How did you go about bringing him to life?
When I was cast as Jedi Bob, I got to talk to Dan and Benji, the creators of this series, all about building this character and kind of what they saw for it and what I saw for it, and what we ended up on, or at least what I ended up on in my mind, is sort of a mix between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn, if they were Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon, like they and I think I very much improvised. I'm getting too old for this ship SHIP every single time I was on a Star Wars ship, and I don't think it made it. But that was my. I was just trying a Jedi who tries really hard to sound like a Jedi. That's but isn't great at it. That's what I tried to do.
So, what is Jedi Bob up to in LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy? And can you tell me a little bit about his relationship with Sig?
What is Jedi Bob up to in this series? I'm guessing about an inch and a half, probably. But for a real answer, Jedi Bob is up to what he does best, saving galaxies and rebuilding them from the start. No, his he's being Jedi Bob's journey is kind of becoming what he never wanted to be, which is responsible. I think for another person. He has some trauma in the past. What happened to him to become a Jedi? So the last thing he wants to do is pass that on to Sig, who is this kind of kid who he maybe sees some of himself in, who's gotten himself into this predicament and is trying to just do his best, kind of like Jedi Bob. So maybe that bit of Jedi Bob, the dad in him, or the father figure, or the Padawan to what would you call the
Master?
master? Yeah, thank you.
Well, now I feel like I just got to help out a Jedi, so that's a dream fulfilled. And speaking of dreams, what were some of your favorite characters that you got to interact with in LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy?
I get to do a little bit with Mark Hamill and as Beach Luke and Ahmed Best as Darth Jar Jar. It's the best. Yeah, like if yeah, fight Darth Jar Jar in a Lego movie if you can. It's really fun.
Well, I think my personal favorite part of this show are all the mashups. What was your favorite one?
Gosh, it changes minute to minute. It was Beach Luke. It still is Beach Luke. It will always be Beach Luke. But I'm gonna tell you more anyway. I just love that Mark Hamill is so funny in this role. He's so good. Ahmed Best coming back to do Darth Jar Jar is absolutely amazing. I personally really like some of the little side guys. Like we got a little Darth Nubs in the background, and um, uh, the way that Darth Maul is in this mixed up world. He is not just an evil Sisyphus. He is like just a gentleman, and I just really enjoy that. Gosh, there's so many. I truly love them all. I also can't wait to see it again because I'm gonna watch it 1,000 times. So this ask me this again in 2 weeks.
I'm going to put that in the calendar right now. Finally, what do you hope that fans take away from LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy?
Joy. I hope they get the joy that they got when they play with Lego or when they watch Star Wars. And I hope that it's doubled on top of itself because of the combination of the two. It's like having ice cream and a milkshake. Well, I guess that's the same thing. It's kind of like having a birthday cake and no, that's not, or a pie on a birthday. It's a pie on a birthday cake.
Well, it's truly been great talking to you, Bobby, and I hope everyone checks out LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy on Disney+.